Good afternoon. Welcome to the Digital Media Meteorology Lab here on the campus of California University of Pennsylvania. I'm Professor Chad Kauffman in the Department of Earth Sciences. The point of these Monday briefings is to alert the viewer to the big weather stories that will be taking place and what our students will be talking about when they deliver their forecasts on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of this week. Thursday, of course, is our CUTV broadcast with News Center. This week we have Damon Matson delivering the weekend's forecast. The big story this week, I think, will wind up being the severe weather in the southeast. Right now, as of Monday afternoon, we just see a broad area of low pressure into the southeast. It hasn't really tightened or become too intense yet. There's a broad area of cloud cover, as well as some embedded convection with some moderate rain. Things will change quite dramatically in the next 24 hours, we think. Right now, up into Pennsylvania, there is a little bit of some high cloudiness and some cirrus, and some of those contrails are kind of lingering quite a bit. But that will also change as we head into Wednesday of this week and ultimately into the weekend. Let me show you what I mean here. I'm going to pull up a product from the Storm Prediction Center in Norman, Oklahoma. They typically don't identify moderate risk areas 2 days out or more, but they have today. And this region here in the southeastern states, the southern Gulf states, we sometimes note this area as what we call Dixie Alley, an alternative to Tornado Alley. The climatology dictates that in the southeastern states, earlier than traditional tornado season, say February, March, we have had a history of tornadoes that occur in the southeast. So this is of concern in the 2-day period, so starting tomorrow morning into Wednesday morning. We're really concerned about some of the winds coming off the Gulf here, really to enhance and provide energy to these storms that will initiate tomorrow afternoon. Part of the reason for that is the upper level winds. Upper level winds help to support the surface systems. So this is a product from our friends at the College of DuPage. This is a 500 millibar map. So the lines here are those height lines at about 5,000 meters. The other variable on here is that of height changes in the last 12 hours or so. It gives us an idea of where we potentially see the atmosphere become more shallow or expansive going into the future. So these dollops here of blue show us that while it's mostly west to east as of this morning, or a zonal flow, we expect a trough really to begin to dig into the central plains here. And then out ahead of that digging trough is typically where we see favored area for lift take place with that surface cyclone. So there's good indications from the observable data that there is a trough forming and intensifying. Other data a little bit higher in the atmosphere at about 300 millibars is that we're finding some really strong winds into the Pacific Northwest. Now, what will likely happen with this is these fast winds will come around the bend of this deepening trough and also help to provide a little bit of a kick to the low pressure system and ultimately some of those storms in the southeast. So that's another ingredient we're concerned about. Now we're looking into some of the prognosis data or solutions, in this case from the GFS model run from this morning. This product was generated from our friends at WeatherBell, and it's identifying as of 1 a.m. on Wednesday this week that we should see a low pressure somewhere around the western flank of Mississippi. What that does is, of course, when these forward part of the low really begin to have some strong warm air advection with some southerly winds off the Gulf here. The other variable here is that of CAPE, or convective available potential energy. Even in the nighttime hours when we typically see CAPE values diminish a bit, they're still pretty high here and through the Gulf states, so we expect some of these storms to maintain their structure and energy and intensity into the overnight hours into Wednesday morning. If we go about 18 hours further into the future, again, the GFS solution from WeatherBell, the product here, we've moved to the northeast. That low pressure, instead of being in Mississippi, is progged to be in the Ohio Valley or in the southwest part of Ohio. Again, Pennsylvania on the forward side of that. The beneficiary, if you want to call it that, of some warmer winds, southerly trajectory. So we have two concerns here with this. With the southerly winds, should bring us some heavy rain Wednesday, maybe even into early Tuesday. The concern also is with these strong winds, we're showing the 850 millibar wind speeds, and there are some pockets potentially really strong winds. So wind and rain with some warmer temperatures middle of the week. That is our biggest concern going forward. Our students forecasters will have to take a look at that. Ultimately, going into the weekend then, that low pressure that we tracked all the way from the southeast is progged to move up past Maine and the Canadian Maritimes. What that does is that as that trough kicks to the east, it becomes a little negatively tilted here, but also then on the backside, some of those cold winds really rush in from Canada. So a cool down after our warm-up midweek with some of that rain. If we summarize that into the week's forecast, these are some of our initial numbers for the temperatures throughout the week. Again, you can see we're above normal here. 52, 56 is above normal for late February, but there's the rain on Wednesday that I mentioned. Flurries going into the weekend, cooling down quite a bit. By this point, Friday, that's definitely below normal. So we're seeing a bit of a seesaw week, and it should be rather interesting for our student forecasters. So stay tuned.